Okay, well, Domenica, we're going to get into your kitchen now. We're going to start the treasure hunt. Are you ready?
I am ready, I think.
Okay. Well, first of all, your kitchen looks beautiful. The little bit I'm seeing of it with the green
Oh,
tile
thank
behind you.
you.
And is that Mackenzie Child's teapot?
Yes, my sister gave that to me some years
Uh,
ago, so I think
I
it's
love
really, really
those.
good.
They're like
Yeah.
kind of Alice in Wonderland aesthetic.
Yes,
Um,
exactly.
okay. Well, round one is called the rarities. We're going to look at the rare things you have in your kitchen. And the
Okay.
first question I always ask, and I'm always most curious about, is what is the item you cherish the most in your kitchen that you would save first in a fire?
All right. So, it is this, and I know it is like hideous to look at, but it's my mom's recipe
Oh,
files.
I love that.
Yeah, and she had two, and she also had, by the way, like folders full of recipes as well. She was a wonderful cook, but look at this, like,
That's so cool.
yeah. And so what I love about these, and I would take them because they not only have her recipes, but I also have recipes written by her sisters, who also love to cook. And so I have these. This is my aunt Adriana. She was my
Wow.
kumara. She was my godmother. I don't even know what that stain is, but this is her recipe for beignet, written in her handwriting. So cream puffs,
Mm.
and I swear every time I open um, this box, things shift. Like today, this morning when I was going through it, I found this recipe for smelts, fish.
Right.
Like in it, so it's like you fry them and you have this vinegar sauce for them. I swear I've never seen this in this box before, and yet there it was. I feel like it's like this, little magical place where I open it and something else comes out. Something different comes out every time, and so I
You're
try
so
not to
lucky.
open it.
That's so nice to have all those memories. I mean,
Yeah,
my grandmother's recipes had like sweet and low and like equal, and it's like not anything you'd ever want to recreate. So that's really cool.
yeah, I love it. I love going through. I try not to open those boxes too often because I always want to be surprised by what's in them.
And do you cook often from them, or do you mostly just
Well,
look it up?
not often, but I do cook from them. Like my mother's original handwritten ossobuco recipe is in there, and some recipes in there have ended up in my books over the years.
Mm.
A few years ago, I was going through it and I found a handwritten recipe for something called spaghetti alla Claudia Cardinale. So spaghetti in the style of Claudia Cardinale, the actress, who she appeared in, I think, several Fellini movies. This gorgeous woman in that 1950s and 60s aesthetic. And it's basically just noodles with butter and cheese and sliced prosciutto cotto, so
Mm.
cooked ham. Super easy. And so I made that and put it in my newsletter. And so occasionally I have a category called From the Files of Gabriella. So that's my mom. And so I'll go in there and I'll pick a recipe and I'll cook it and share it.
I love that. Well, okay, I'm gonna have to make that. That sounds really good.
So easy and it's so good.
So number two, what is the oldest item in your kitchen?
Okay, besides me, let's see. Let's
I don't
see.
believe that.
Well, okay, so I have this is my baby spoon. I use it for coffee now.
Oh, the one that your
So
mom like fed you with?
yeah, it's pretty damn old. So but so that's one thing.
That's so cute.
And I also have my baby fork, and I use that to like spear pickles and things. I don't know. These things traveled around me throughout the years, and
Were
I've
you an
just
only
kept
child?
them. No, I have an older sister. She's a couple of years older than me, so it was just the two of us, which is, I guess, unusual for an Italian family. But
But did you get your own baby spoons and your own
I
baby forks?
yes, I got my own set. So
Wow, okay.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
why
So
I asked that because I was like, it feels very unusual for a parent to like save a distinct spoon and fork for each baby, but that's really nice.
yeah, it was. I always had them around. Of course, I gave them to my kids, but I wouldn't let my kids use them because I was like, oh, they're going to ruin them. And then
That's
this
funny.
is also old.
Whoa.
I know it's this French coffee grinder. It says made in France, and it's metal. And I found this at I don't know, at an antique shop somewhere years and years ago. I think I might have found it in Michigan, actually, which is where my husband is from. And I absolutely love it. Like, I love the shape of it and how, the rounded
Yeah,
corners and the wooden knob and just the kind of that graphic.
I love that.
So it looks
Yeah.
like maybe, I don't know, early 20th century. It's got a little windmill on it.
Do you use
So
it, or do you mostly just have
no,
it
I
for
don't. It's
decoration? Yeah.
just there I have this corner shelf and it sits in there with a bunch of other things for decoration.
I love that. I love like
Yeah.
old items. I have like
Yeah.
I can't really show you, but I have these giant like sugar and flour. All right, I'll show you since
Yes,
I'm
I
talking
wanna
about.
see. Oh my
Uh,
god.
these ones, I guess you can't see,
I
but
can, and I can see that font. It's
yeah. So kind of like I
beautiful.
keep my flour in there, which is maybe not the smartest thing, is we have ants in our kitchen. So
But,
uh,
it's
yeah.
worth it because yeah.
All right, I lost my questions. Okay, here we are. Number three. What's something given to you by a loved one that's important to you in your kitchen? And I imagine the recipes are up there.
They are up there, but I have 2 more things I wanna add because, they were also given to me by my mom, who was, of course, my muse in the kitchen. This is her copy of Il Talismano della Felicità, The Talisman of
Uh,
Happiness, which was just translated late last year into English, like the whole comprehensive. There was an earlier version that was very, condensed, but the one that was done by, I think, Voracious was the publisher. They just translated the whole book. But my mom's is from like the 1940s or 50s. She got married in 58. And so there's a lot of tabs in here that
yeah.
she, and notes that she made. And there's these wonderful
Oh, I love that.
illustrations, and it's all in Italian. And so this is like my go-to for recipe inspiration, or when I want to look back at old recipes, and then like I've come across postcards of hers and stuff like
Wow.
that. Um, this I truly treasure.
And when was that published?
That was I think the original was published in the early 20th century, like maybe in the 1919s or
Wow.
1920s. This one I think is from the 40s or 50s. It was given to my mom as a wedding gift by her mom, I believe. So she passed it on to me after I started writing cookbooks. And then she also gave me her chitarra, which is a pasta instrument from
Oh my
Abruzzo.
god, I've seen that before, but I've never
Yes.
used one before. Do you use it?
Oh, yeah, I do. I actually do. I'm always worried because this is an old one, and so I'm worried that the strings might bust. And you're supposed to tighten them every so often. So I don't use it often, but I do use it occasionally. And so for people who don't know, you put your strip of pasta on here and you roll over it with the rolling pin, and
Mm.
it cuts it into these like square cut strands, and then you just kind of dump them out in your hand. And anyway, it was a way to make pasta making easier for Abruzzese women way back in the I don't know, 19th century. And so I do love to use that. Yeah. So those are
And
2
if you go
things
to a
from my mom.
restaurant and it says like something alla chitarra, it means it was made on that, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Wow. And then does chitarra mean guitar?
It does, yeah, and that is Abruzzo's signature pasta. So, Abruzzo is like mid-calf on the boot that is Italy.
Yeah.
So if you
Yeah.
start in Rome and head east, it kinda starts in the Apennine Mountains and it goes out to the Adriatic coast. And so, um, the chitarra pasta is the signature pasta, and it's usually sauced with a hearty, like, mixed meat ragu, either pork and lamb, lot of
Mhm.
lamb
Yeah.
sheep and sheep's milk cheeses in Abruzzo. And then you can also make it with seafood from the Adriatic coast. They have the wonderful little seafood, like the little tiny clams and tiny cuttlefish. And so you can make it with a seafood ragu as well.
Oh my god, this is making me so hungry. I was telling you earlier when we were talking before, you make me hungry. Okay, number four. What's an ingredient that you have that most people don't have in their kitchen?
All right. So I have these spice blends that I did for the cookie book. One is called Pisto Napoletano, and then another one is called Cavallucci spice. So Pisto Napoletano is from the South. Cavallucci spice is a Tuscan blend, and then La Saporita I believe is Piemontese originally, but they use it in Sardinia. And what I like about these spice blends is that they're a little different. I put the recipes in Italian cookies, and they're a little bit different from your typical spice blends. So I want to just share what some of the ingredients are. So in the Pisto Napoletano, which I use fairly often. It's got cloves, star anise, coriander, black peppercorns, and cinnamon.
Yum.
And it's really good in cookie dough. And then the Sardinian one has anise seed, cloves, coriander, nutmeg, and caraway, which like I
Oh,
would never
interesting.
think of in a southern Italian. Well, I guess Sardinian is in the islands and not necessarily south, but I found it so unusual, and it's a key ingredient in these cookies called pabassinas, which have raisins in them, and it's so nice to have that warm spice in the cookie dough.
It sounds good. It
So
sounds almost like savory with the coriander and the
yeah, yeah, it is a little bit. It's a little bit complex, and so I really love those. And then the other thing I've got are that I think is kind of unusual are these peas. These are whole peas as opposed to split peas, and they're
okay.
dried. And I've never seen them like this range of color. To me, is so pretty, and they don't stay that way when they're cooked. But they're called. Rovella, and they're from Umbria. And so they just tell you to soak them in water and then cook them, and then you kind of make a soup with them with chopped carrots and onions and potatoes, and then broth, and then you serve them with like croutons or crostini,
And is the
and very
texture different than like a normal pea?
yeah, and they've got a really I mean, they taste a bit like split peas or kind of a cross between split peas and lentils, and I don't know, I was just very intrigued by them because you rarely see whole peas, like, they're
Yeah, I've
always
never
when they're
seen that
dried, they're
before.
always split, so I thought that was kinda cool.
That's
Um
really cool. And especially because like peas, if you add them too early, like frozen peas, and you put them in a soup, it gets really mushy. So I
Yeah.
imagine starting from a dry state, you have like a better shot at not having mushy peas.
Yeah, exactly. It's quite rustic, so they do kind of break down in the way like split peas and ham
Right.
would, but they keep their texture too, and they're pretty cool.
Wow, I could talk to you forever about all this stuff. I'm gonna have to like speed you
Yeah.
along with it. This is so fun. Okay, number five. What's your favorite serving dish that or plate that you have in your collection?
Okay, so I love these. I got two of these a few years ago. They're Italian
I
ceramics.
look, there's cookies on them. Are
Yeah,
those to me?
I wish I could share them with you. I really do.
Yeah, that
But
was done.
what I love about these, so
Oh,
these
I
are
love that transferware.
isn't that beautiful? It's from Abruzzo. It's Majolica, and it's from there's Deruta ceramics in Umbria and Vietri down on the Amalfi Coast. Well, in Abruzzo we have Castelli ceramics, and Castelli is this beautiful hill town in the Gran Sasso mountain range. And I loved this because they're known for their landscapes, the paesaggi, but I loved the sepia tones of these ones, and I found that very unusual. So I do love these platters, and
That's a
I'd like to.
gorgeous platter. I love platters like that.
Yeah, and you can use them or hang them, but I like to use them. So
I have
and
one that I found at an antique store that I don't really know the provenance of it, but obviously I don't store it very well. But it's kind of like
oh my god, that's beautiful. So what
it's
does it say on the back?
the old mill made in England by Johnson Brothers.
Oh, that is beautiful. See, I love all these landscape
Yeah, me too.
platters. I think
I
they're
mean,
gorgeous.
I could keep buying them and buying them, but somebody in my household, aka my husband, doesn't like when I keep buying
Yeah,
plates and platters. So,
yeah, yeah.
I was going to ask you, with your fidelity to Italian culture, do you also collect things from like other cultures, or do you mostly stick to Italian?
I do collect things from other cultures. Like, okay, so I was in Portland, Oregon at Vivienne Culinary during the
I
book
was just
thing.
there. Yeah, I
Oh,
did an
were
event there
you?
too. Yeah,
Oh, well, I snagged this
love it.
spongeware bowl because I love it. And I don't think it's that old or anything because it says microwave and oven safe, but it's made in Roseville, Ohio, which is known for their pottery. So I love American pottery as well. And
Hmm.
I have a bunch of, unfortunately, I don't have them right. Sometimes I change things on the top of my shelf. Oh, you guys can't see that.
Oh, that's
Okay,
so
so I got some
pretty.
things.
Love it.
That's what's up there now. So there's a couple of French pictures and that little guinea hen up there, what I that I absolutely adore. Um, and then I love, love, love. And this is the only this is Pewabic pottery from
Ooh,
Detroit, Michigan, and they're known for their arts and crafts era vases and plates and tiles, especially. And if you go to old homes in Detroit, they often their front foyer is made out of Pewabic tile, or the hearth, the fireplace. It's just gorgeous. Some of these homes are so gorgeous. So anyway, this is a little tile from Pewabic pottery, and
I love it.
I just love all kinds of ceramics and pottery.
Me too. Okay, we're going to go to round two now, the everyday. So, number one, this is written specifically for you because of your book, but can you show us your rolling pin?
Yes, which one?
Exactly.
Okay, so here's my everyday rolling pin, and this is an old one I
Oh,
got at like a culinary store in Michigan years ago. I love the white handles, but it doesn't roll as well as this one. I grew up in this era of rolling pins, so
yeah,
I
because
like
yeah,
these. Yeah.
I have the oh, I don't know where I put. Oh, it's right here. I just have this one because I thought this made it easier to roll, but maybe
Yeah.
I'm not great at rolling, so maybe I do need the kind that you have.
Yeah, I just because I grew up on those, I'm used to using them. And then I have this is my pasta one,
Ooh,
which a carver from Tuscany, Romagnoli, his name is, and he made this out of lemon wood.
wow. Does it
Yeah,
smell like
and
lemons?
I wish it did.
I've never heard of lemon
I
wood, but
should
it
get.
sounds
I
nice.
know. I'm pretty sure I'm not lying. I'm pretty sure that's what he told me when he sent it to me. So yeah, so
Oh,
those are my
nice.
rolling pins.
Number two, what's your go-to plate or bowl when you just want to grab a bite?
Yeah, so I like plain white. So this is just a Pilco, that
Hmm.
brand. So I really like these. I like to put pasta in these. I'm not a photographer, but I do take the photos for my newsletter. So I like to use that often. And then I like to have my morning yogurt in these
Yeah.
in this Japanese bowl, and sometimes I have soup in this because I'm a
I don't
soup
know why I
fiend.
said yum, but I think that was like my bodily reaction to like
Yeah.
liking the ceramics or whatever.
Oh,
Where are
oh,
those
aren't they
from?
lovely?
Yeah.
I got these in a little Japanese, shop in Princeton, New Jersey, which is, near where I used to where I grew up, and, every time I go in there, I see, like, ramen bowls and all these beautiful things, and I loved the kind of off-kilter shape of that little pear.
Yeah, that's great. I love it. I have a when we were in Japan, I got these. I'm sorry, actually, we were in Copenhagen and we got these kind of cool ceramic bowls that
Oh,
have. There it was a
that's
Japanese person's maker that made them, but I have my yogurt in this kind of bowl in the
oh, I
morning.
love it.
I love the like back and forth of the showing and telling. We could go all day.
I know.
Okay, number three. What's something in your refrigerator left over from your last cooking session?
All right, I'll show it to you, even though it's pretty hideous,
Okay.
because it's like I made
Oh,
this last night for dinner. So it's lentil, farro, and white bean soup. Because
yeah,
yesterday it was like rainy all day and it was
yeah.
chilly, and I thought it's soup weather. And then by the time I made it, the sun had come out, but it was good anyway. So it's just a basic Italian soup, with a little, parm rind in there for extra flavor, a little bit of tomato.
Did you ever know Gina De Palma, the pastry chef?
I never had the pleasure of meeting her. I have her wonderful book.
Dolce Italiano.
Yeah, yeah,
She was a friend, and she, for one of my books where I cooked with a bunch of chefs, she taught me her lentil soup, that her family made, and so that kind of rustic,
yep.
she had this great trick of like sautéing garlic at the very end in olive oil and pouring it into the soup
Oh,
and
that's so
stirring that in.
clever.
Yeah, it was really good. Now I'm craving
Yeah.
soup. Okay, number four. What's something in your kitchen that you never use, but you just can't get rid of it?
Okay. Well, I did use it, but I can't use it anymore because it's too beat up. So
Oh
this
my
is an
God.
old kitchen towel that has it's herbs. So oregano, mentha, and basil, and I think either my mom or one of my Italian aunts gave it to me, and I
Mm.
can't part with it because I
Oh,
love it,
yeah,
but I
I would never
but I
part with
can't
that.
use it. Yeah.
That's the hard thing when you have something you love in the kitchen because it's like you wanna use it, you want it just to sit there, but then it
Yeah.
starts to deteriorate a little bit,
Yeah.
and,
Well, and thankfully, it's not too big, so I just keep it tucked away in the drawer.
oh. Number 5, what's the ingredient you go to again and again to give things that Domenica Marchetti flair?
I will start. I have 2. This is the first. It's, peperoncini sott'olio, so hot pepper in oil.
Mm,
Being from Abruzzo, we love our hot pepper, and if you go to a restaurant in Abruzzo, you will find whole, fresh peperoncini, like cayenne, thin, long peppers. Sometimes they're red, sometimes they're green, and they come on little plates with a little pair of scissors so you can snip them right
oh,
onto your
nice.
food. Or you'll find them in oil or dried and crushed. So I started making this when I was working on preserving Italy. I really got into all sorts of preserving. And so these are kept in oil, and you basically um, chop the peppers, salt them, let them sit out. And then you rinse them and dry them. Let them dry overnight, and then you put them in this like vinegar solution, and then let them dry again. This is all the preserving method. And then you put them in a jar and top them off with oil, and they last a long time. And so
Yeah.
I like to put, like, I put some in the soup, I put them in stews. They go, wherever you want, just that little bit of heat.
Yeah, I have Calabrian chilies in my refrigerator, and I'm never quite sure what to do with them, but I guess it's like treat it like chili flakes, right? I mean, like
Yeah,
making pasta or something, just like stir it in.
exactly.
Yeah, but you made that yourself?
I did, yes.
Yeah.
And yeah, I get hot peppers at our farmer's market. I get a plant that is pretty prolific, and so I don't have much of a garden, and I don't really have a green thumb, but a couple of
Neither
things I
do
can
I.
grow. And yeah, hot peppers I can grow. And then the
Honestly.
other thing I love is I have to tell you about is these rizzoli alici in salsa picante. So
Oh.
these are my favorite anchovies. They're hard to find in the US. You can find them online. I'm even having trouble finding them in Italy some these days, but they are, I think, from the coast of Emilia Romagna, and they're in this sort of piquant tuna sauce. You can't see the tuna at all, but I think there's like either tuna oil or tuna drippings or something in there, and it's
Yeah.
really really good. But whenever I need anchovies, this is what I reach for.
Do
So
you
those
use
are
it like, do you put it in a sauce or do you just eat them like on like,
they are
bread?
so good. Bread, butter,
Yeah,
anchovies, or
I
just
love
crackers and
anchovies. Yeah.
when I was growing up, and my mom, she would put that in our Christmas Eve tuna tomato sauce. She would put them and she would give
Mm.
one to me and one to my sister, and would have them on crackers. They're so good. But I also just tossing, pasta with aglio olio acciughe, so pasta, olive oil, garlic, and anchovies is one of my favorite
You have a
dishes.
question
So.
in the comments from Bob Marino wants to know, do you know that Anxanum pottery in Lanciano, they make the blue splatter where you can find in supermarkets?
Oh, I didn't know that. So Lanciano is one of them.
Lanciano, that's what I meant
Yeah,
to say.
yeah, 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 yeah. That's a city in Abruzzo, and yes, I know Bob because he's a subscriber, and he often has great details to share. And I did not know that, Bob, but next time I'm in Abruzzo, I'm going to head over to Lanciano and check that out because
Yeah, me too, if I go to
yeah, yeah,
Abruzzo, which I wanna do.
yeah.
Okay, round 3, let's get random. What is the weirdest thing in your kitchen?
Okay, the weirdest thing in my kitchen is so I was mentioning Puabic pottery. One of my favorite pieces is this fish gurgle
Love
pitcher,
it.
which
Yeah,
is
that's
from
great.
Puabic. Yeah, every year they have this seconds sale, which makes their more expensive stuff a little more affordable. And so I got this at one of the, I don't know why they thought the glaze, there was something off with the glaze or something. But
I kinda
anyway,
like the color because it looks like it was
right?
discovered from the lost city of Atlantis or
Yeah,
something like.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, so I absolutely love that. I keep it in my corner there, and then I don't know how weird these are, but they're not really. This is a little
Oh, that's funny.
cast iron teapot and a little cast iron rabbit. My dad, who was a chemical engineer, used to travel to Japan often, and so he would bring back these little things, and so they're little talismans for me, and I like to keep them in the
You can't
kitchen.
really use that teapot, can you?
No, I mean, I suppose I could, but wouldn't
You could
give
put
much tea
salt in
out of
there
it.
maybe
Yeah.
and put on the
Oh,
table
that's a
for
good
people to like
idea.
sprinkle on their food. Number two, do you have any art hanging on the walls of your kitchen?
I wish I did, but I have no real open spaces because
Yeah. Do
everything is
you want to
like,
show us your kitchen?
yeah,
Okay.
so there's my shelf, which I've got a lot of tchotchkes on. And
Okay.
then on this side, I've got, yeah, like cabinets and stuff. So
Oh, I
I don't
see.
really have a lot of room for art, unfortunately. So like the only thing I've got, which isn't really art, um, is this little thing,
Oh,
an
that's art to
old.
me. Yeah.
Yeah, right, an old mold.
Yeah.
So a friend of mine, who's an antiques dealer in New Jersey, every once in a while, her name's Stacy. Every once in a while, she used to put pieces on Instagram, and you could message her and say, "Ooh, how much are you selling that for?" And
Oh, I
so
love
that's how
that.
I got that. Yeah.
I mean, I feel like the stuff you have out in your kitchen is the equivalent of having art hanging on the walls because it's also cool to look at.
I have a couple of graphic prints that I've gotten over the years that I really want. So we have a little place in Abruzzo, and I think
Oh,
most of that stuff is going to end up there. Yeah,
oh,
because we just
nice.
don't have. Because the other side of what of me, like if I were to turn the camera the other way, it's our kitchen, it's our breakfast area, and then our family room. It's like it's all an open space, and
Right.
so there's no walls.
How long have you lived in this house?
Oh, a long time since 2004.
Okay, because that kitchen looks so almost like brand new. It looks so
Well,
nice. Yeah.
yeah, we redid this in 2012, so,
Okay.
so it's been a
Gorgeous.
while, actually, and if
Yeah.
you were to see it close up, you would see dings here and there and everywhere. Because
And I'm just
I
noticing the sink, the faucet over the stove, right?
yeah, yeah,
That's
because I
great.
do fill a lot of pots for pasta,
Yeah.
so
I would
we
love
did
that.
that. Yeah, yeah, I love that too.
Okay, number three, do you keep any cookbooks in your kitchen? If so, which ones?
So like I said, on the other side of this is our breakfast area. One wall is cookbook shelves,
Do you wanna
so
show
it's
us?
like a
You can click the little
okay,
reverse button on the top. You don't even have
yes.
to do anything.
I will do that, and well, yeah, I have to take you I'm gonna take you guys with me if that's
Yeah, let's do
okay.
it. Come on.
Alright, so
We have some extra time now after I rushed you
alright,
along now,
so
so we
okay,
have
good,
plenty of time.
alright, let's see, there we
Oh
go.
my god, I love
So
seeing
I
people's cookbooks. This is my favorite part.
yeah, so there's a
Wow.
whole bunch, and here's some of my Italian section,
Oh my god, love it.
and these are
It
some
looks like you
more
have some rare ones in
narrative.
there.
A couple, yeah, a couple of old ones and rare ones, and then, here's some dessert
Oh,
stuff.
there's Gina's book, Dolce Italiano. I see it.
Yes, yep,
Monaco.
and yeah, which I love.
Yeah, it's great. Leah.
More baking, vegetarian, and then, like, here's American, like James Beard and Marion Cunningham and Edna Lewis and
I love
all of
Marion
that, and
Cunningham's breakfast book.
oh,
Do you ever see that?
yes, I have that somewhere, yeah.
Yeah, I have that
There's the
too.
supper book, I have the breakfast book somewhere, and
Oh, yeah,
then here's the
awesome. That's a good one.
spillover.
Oh my god. I get in trouble. I mean, look at my cookbooks, and this is like this is oh, what did I just do? Sorry. I shouldn't have done that. Those are my cookbooks. That's how much room I
Oh
have.
my god.
And
Alright,
I get in trouble for buying too many cookbooks. So,
yeah, I can't help it,
well, it's your
and I
job. You're supposed to have
yeah,
cookbooks.
exactly, I know, well, I feel like I'm at the age where I should be winnowing, but,
Oh,
I'm
no, not
just not
never.
ready,
I made
just
that
not
mistake when I
ready.
read the Marie Kondo book years ago when that came out. Like, if it doesn't spark joy, get rid of it. And I got rid of so many books. And now I look back on that, I'm like, why did I do that? It was like such a fad at the time. But now
Yeah,
it's like, I love having books. So don't
yeah,
get rid of them.
yeah. Oh,
Uh,
and then let me just show you the last bit, so I have a little area here in my, uh right in my corner shelf where I
Uh-huh.
have like rotating books that feel like I'm cooking out of a lot. So these are some of the ones that I've been keeping on the shelves recently.
what are your most used over your course of your lifetime? Like what are the cookbooks that you've gone to the most to
Oh
use?
gosh. Such a hard question because I feel like I'm testing recipes so often. It's
Right.
hard to definitely the Adaboni, Pellegrino Artusi, who was a 19th century Italian cookbook author. He was like the one who did the first cookbook to kind of integrate Italian cuisine. Then another book I love that I used to cook from more often than I do now was Marion Morash. The Victory Garden cookbook. It was a companion to a PBS series that she and her husband did. And her husband, Russ, was Julia Child's producer, I think, or something like that
Okay.
for her show. But anyway, that was just all vegetables and very creative ways. I think it's kind of dated now, but the cover is off that book. I used it so much.
I
But
love that.
whenever I get a new cookbook, I put little tabs in it of all the recipes I want to make. And then it's like, I'm sure you know, it's so hard to have the time to get to all of them.
Oh, absolutely. I was going to ask you, I'm just curious because it feels like over the past maybe 30 years, Italian food in America has shifted a bit from the red sauce, what Italian American food or the way people think of what Italian food is. It feels like there's a growing awareness and appreciation for lack of a better word, the authentic Italian cuisine. And have you
No, I
noticed
think
that too?
yes, absolutely. And I think that's one reason I was able to publish Italian cookies because I think people are very into this concept of deep dive or just exploring a regional, one
Hmm.
region of Italian cuisine. Whereas I think in the 80s we started to do the North and South, so we kind
Hmm.
of transitioned from Italian American to we had Marcello Hazan, but then we started to
Right.
get into North and South, and then we started to get into Tuscany, and which I think is still, for some reason, the most popular of the cookbook categories. Which
Maybe because of
it's
Under the Tuscan Sun.
under the Tuscan sun. And I do love Tuscan cuisine. I mean, I think it's a very hearty kind of country cuisine. I love Julia Scarpaleggia's books. She has a new one out too called Vegetables the Italian Way, which is a
Oh,
really
I have
wonderful.
that. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
That's great
So
cover.
her recipes are fantastic. But then, Katie Parla has done two
Mhm.
books on Rome, and her most recent one is a real deep dive, and it's such a good read that's so packed with information. So I think that as more people travel to Italy, I think they're discovering the great variety there is in Italian cuisine. That said, I still feel like there's a disconnect. I still feel like people go to Italy and go to Florence and, want to eat pizza, which is fine because you can find good pizza in Florence now, but that's
Right.
not where you should be eating
Yeah.
pizza. At least traditionally it wasn't. Or if you go to Piedmont and you're asking for, spaghetti alla carbonara, which is a Roman thing. And so,
Right. Not
yeah,
being
I feel like,
educated. And now with like all the internet stuff and chat GPT and stuff, it's like there's no excuse not to know
yeah,
what's
yeah,
anywhere. So that's interesting though to hear that.
yeah.
I feel like my education, I hate to say it, but it was from Mario Batali's show back when he was on TV. That
Right.
was the first time I ever saw that kind of Italian food being made on TV, where it was like coming from different regions. He would pull the map down and say, "This comes from Abruzzo. This comes from," and that's when I first started learning about it.
Yeah, and
Okay,
now we
well,
have Stanley Tucci who's
oh
going
yeah,
all
he's
over Italy and
amazing.
he's yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So he's really, I think, educating people.
he's great. Number four, show us your guilty pleasure, and I say guilty with quotes, snack item or dessert item.
Okay, so what have I yeah, I know what I want to share is so this is like a high-end
Ooh,
Nutella.
yeah.
There's this a hazelnut producer in Piemonte. So the Piemontese hazelnuts are very crisp and buttery, and they're like a slow food. ingredient, and so they make these wonderful spreads, and so this is their intense chocolate and hazelnut
Yeah.
spread. So this is the other use for my baby spoon because that's
I love
my
that your
guilty.
guilty pleasure is like the sophisticated. I thought you were going to come out with Cheetos or something.
No, no, it's my baby food. And then the other thing I do, like, because I'm Italian, we like to have our digestivi at
Mm,
night. So sometimes late at night when I'm watching whatever, I never watched Lost when it was first on. So my
mhm.
husband and I are now watching
I
Lost.
love
So
Lost. It's great.
it's really good. No spoilers, but anyway, so I have a couple of liqueurs that I make, and
Wait, how do you make liqueur?
so with Everclear and lots of other things.
Yeah, I bought what did I buy? There was that book that won the James Beard Award about like making your own spirits, and there was a recipe for a
Oh,
Amaro in there, and I bought like wormwood is what I bought, and I've never used
yeah,
it. So, but what
yeah.
do you put in there? I want to
Some of
know.
them are, yeah. This is nocino, which is a walnut liqueur,
Green,
and
isn't it green walnuts?
yeah, it's the unripe walnuts. They're still soft enough that you can cut into them, and you put them in a jar with alcohol and sugar and spices, and just a little bit of spice like clove and I think a stick of cinnamon. I can't remember. I haven't. This one's from 2020, by the way.
Where do you get
It
your
lasts
green
a long.
walnuts?
I I wish I could say I foraged for them. I mean, in Italy, they're everywhere, but I have to order mine from California. Sorry to
Okay,
say,
I was
but
curious because actually in our old backyard, we lived in LA for a while. We had a green
oh,
walnut tree, and I
that's
never
my
used it.
dream.
I never made nocino.
That's my dream. And then this one is called ratafia. This is an Abruzzese liqueur, and it's actually made from the leaves of the sour cherry tree.
Mm.
So, and you can put some cherries or cherry pits in it as well. But the leaves, you immerse them. It with Montepulciano d'Abruzzo wine, which is a red wine, and you let that steep. I think you also put a little bit of just a little bit of cinnamon and alcohol and sugar, and it's really good. And you would not believe the flavor that comes out of cherry leaves. It's like
And do you
this.
get those online too?
No, so at our farmers market, sour cherry. The sour cherries here are different than the ones in Italy, but they still work. They're the Montmorency, the red pie cherries, the
Hmm.
soft, the ones that Michigan is really like ground zero for sour cherries. But at my local farmers market, I always ask them and they bring me these
Oh,
big bag full of cherry leaves, and that's what I use.
are these recipes in your Preserving Italy book?
Um, the nocino is in Preserving Italy. The ratafia, I don't think I've ever published that, but it's one I've been meaning to publish. And we're
Yeah.
actually coming up on cherry season, so I might do that
Maybe your next book is
this year.
Italian spirits. Like you'll do like make your own Italian.
There's a whole world there. Yeah.
Because David Leibovitz did Drinking French, so you could do Drinking Italian.
Oh, that sounds fun. That sounds like
I'm
a good
coming to your house to
project.
test recipes. Okay, number five. Do you have a favorite utensil?
Yeah. Let's see. Okay, a couple of things. One
Well, you had
of
the baby
which
spoon from your childhood. That
Yes,
was
the baby
fun.
spoon. I know that Michael Sullivan said he never uses his mezzaluna, but I use mine.
Okay,
So
you
I
watched that
wanted to,
episode. Very
in
good.
defense of the mezzaluna, yeah.
Yeah,
And I like it for chopping walnuts because they're soft and they don't go flying all over, and also chopping herbs. And there's just something to me, I don't know, just therapeutic about
yeah,
this movement. So I really like my mezzaluna. And then I think this is my most
yeah.
used utensil.
I use
I
mine
have
too.
I have dropped coffee beans on the floor and
Yeah.
used this to scoop them up. I
Yeah,
once dropped one of those little glass or Pyrex mise en place bowls and it just shattered all over my
yeah.
counter. This picked it up, and of course, for dough and all of that. But I just find so many uses for that
And it's a
bench
pastry
scraper.
scraper, a bench scraper.
Yeah,
Right, right.
yeah,
Yeah, people think
yeah,
a bench scraper is only for pastry, but I use it
yeah.
all the time if I'm making soup and I chop a bunch of vegetables to get it into the
Yes,
pot.
the
Yeah,
scoop. Yes,
it's
exactly.
great. All right. Well, now we're up to round four, which is the drill. And I'm very curious to hear the answers to these questions because you have such good taste in everything. And these are the basic things that people will have in their cabinet. So, number one, what is your go to olive oil?
All right, so I have a couple for sautéing and cooking every day. A few years ago, I
Oh
started
my God.
buying.
That's so funny. This is what literally one of my guests told me about this.
Yeah,
Noah Galudin was on this show and he said that this is his favorite olive oil. So,
it's good olive oil. I use it for cooking, for more like fancy, like drizzling. I like to just buy fresh olive oil when I can at the end of this, like in November or whatever, October, November, whenever the olives are processed. This is one I got. Where did I get this one? I can't remember. Sometimes I buy them from Gustiamo or Olio to Go, which is
what does
another
it say?
online.
Tonda Iblea. I
Tondo,
think I've had that. Yeah, with the gold seal.
very good. And
Yeah.
then when I was so I was last fall, I guess I was in Molise, which is just south of Abruzzo, a small region, beautiful, green and forested, not well known at all. And we found this,
Ooh, that looks special.
Marchetti. So I thought,
Oh, that's your
well,
last name. I was like, that was
yeah,
funny. It took me a second.
yeah. So we have yet to try it. I need to open it because it's getting, it's been sitting there for a few months, which is not what you want. With good olive oil, you want to open it and use it.
Where do you store your olive oil? In a cabinet?
Some in a cabinet, but I tend to keep it on the counter because I do use it
That's what
pretty,
I do.
yeah.
Actually, I feel very validated that you said that because a lot of people are like, you have to keep it in a cold place. So I use
I
mine all
use
the
it.
time.
If
Yeah,
I kept it in a cold place, it would sit there for years and I'd never use it.
good point. What is your go to butter?
All right. So in my freezer right now, I've got three different kinds of butter, and one is Trader Joe's.
Okay. Do you like Trader Joe's butter for baking?
I mean, I have to say this is terrible, and this is Keller. My mom used to use this occasionally, and then Organic Valley.
I think I've used that. Yeah.
So I have to say I probably should be pickier about my butter, given that I just did a baking book. But butter has become so expensive
Yeah.
that I just I try to use what's affordable. The one thing I did was when I was working on the recipes for Italian cookies, when I would weigh a stick of butter, I realized that some of them are actually like Kirkland butter. Their sticks, instead of weighing 113 or 114 grams, they're like 109 grams. So if you're
Really?
using 3 or 4 sticks of butter, you're shaving off a lot of grams there. And so I stopped using it when I realized, and that was consistent. Um, so if they're doing it, consistently, maybe they are saving millions of dollars because they sell a lot of butter. But
Right.
I at least needed to know that the stick weighed a consistent,
I use
four
a scale now
ounces.
for everything, and it's funny because
Yeah.
I've been making. Well, I don't want to call anyone out, but I have a cookbook that I really like that has a banana bread recipe that says to use 4 bananas or this amount of grams. And when I was doing the amount of grams, I had to keep adding bananas because it wasn't like getting to the round. So I added like 7 bananas, and I got to the right amount of grams. But when I baked the bread, it took like 2 hours to bake, and it
Oh
was like
my
bubbling
god.
over. So I was like, this can't be right. Somebody did not
No.
do the weight
Yeah.
correctly. But I do normally when I bake recipes, like I just did David Leibovitz's chocolate cookies. I did
Mm.
that by weight, and it came out perfect. So
Yep.
yeah,
I needed to make sure that we were going to have the weight measurements
yeah,
in the cookie book because, as you know, a cup of one type of flour or 120 grams is 120 grams. But if you're,
right,
spooning the flour in, you're going to get a different amount than if you're doing the dip and sweep method, which I think is
right.
just puts too much flour into the cup. Yeah, yeah, it's much more consistent with weights.
Okay, this is a big one for someone who's Italian, which is what is your go-to canned tomatoes?
Yeah. So, okay. I'm saying this with a little bit of sadness and nostalgia. I have been getting these are called Posardi. They're from Sardinia, and I really like their bottled. It's not quite passata till it's more a little bit chunkier. It's finely chopped, and then their whole tomatoes are really good. They taste so fresh. But and I was getting these at my local Balducci. We have a Balducci in Old Town Alexandria, and they were bought out by Safeway a few years ago, and these have not been reappearing on the shelves recently. So that really bums me out.
Oh no, can you get
Um,
them online?
I have not found them online. I think they're
Really?
hard to find. I don't know how big this producer in Sardinia is, but anyway, I'm not giving up. I think I might complain. But then
I
so I've
love
been using
those. Yeah,
these, and these are
yeah, those are good.
wonderful. Yeah.
Wow, we have so many matching things in our
Do
kitchens. We have the
oh
same
well,
olive oil, the same
yes.
tomatoes. These are showing up a lot in New York too. I think a lot of people really like these. I just read
Yeah.
that one of the brands, like Cento, not Cento, but one of them is getting sued. There's a class action lawsuit because they're claiming San Marzano, but they're not actually San
Oh.
Marzano. So
Yeah, you
I
have
don't know who the victims are in that case, but somebody's
there's a
suffering.
lot of disingenuous labeling,
Yeah.
with tomatoes, with olive oil, with other products, so you have to be really, kind of vigilant or learn how to read the labels if you want the good stuff.
All right, we're going to have to speed through the rest because we have 10 minutes before we get kicked off. So, what are your go to jams or jellies? Now, I imagine you make your own, but
Yes.
okay, so let's see what the ones you make. But do you also ever buy a jam and jelly, or do you mostly only
Um,
make it?
I only when I did preserving Italy, I started making them, and I stopped buying jams and jellies with pectin because decided I like the soft set
Looser?
better. So I never use pectin. This is apricot and anise jam I made
Yeah.
last summer, and then peach and fig leaf because I have a fig
Yeah.
tree.
So that's from last summer. And do you do a vacuum seal on it, or like
Yeah, I
you
do the
can
water
it?
bath. Yeah,
You
I
do the
can it
water
with
bath.
the water bath. These are cherry preserves. They're quite sticky. They're like a spoon fruit. And then I have this little fig tree that is very prolific in spite of my neglect. And so I get so many figs each year. And I do this fig and chocolate jam with cognac that's really good.
Your friends
So
are so lucky they know you. I imagine you give a lot of these away.
I do, but,
Yeah.
yeah, I have a hard time now buying jam because I'm spoiled.
Yeah.
Sometimes when if I'm in Italy, I'm gonna buy jam because there's so many small artisanal producers, and, so you can find really great jam, and I imagine there's really great jam here. It's just that, so many times I've been disappointed, and I just don't like that jelly-like texture of the
Mhm.
pectin, um, yeah,
I mean, you don't have to apologize for making your own delicious jam. It sounds really good. What is your go-to chef's knife?
This one I love. I don't even
Oh,
know
that's a
the
big knife. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. So I got this. Do you know Jamie Schlur?
Mm.
She writes the Life's a Feast newsletter, and she used to have a blog called Life's a Feast. She has a little hotel in Chinon, France. She's lived in
Oh,
France
wow.
for many years. So she and I did a food writing thing together some years ago at her hotel, and there was this little knife shop in Chinon, and so I got a couple of their knives,
Those are
and
cool. I like the handles a lot.
yeah, I think they're like Corian or something.
Wow.
And so, but I don't know the name of the brand. So I wish I could tell you, but I just liked the aesthetic and they work well. So
Yeah, that's great.
yeah, I don't know. What's your favorite knife?
It's funny. I got this made-in knife from Tom Colicchio's company, and I just love the red handle. I'm very
Yeah.
shallow, and this one's from Headley and Bennett, which I also love the handle.
Ooh.
And these are both like not crazy expensive, so I can sharpen them really well.
Yeah.
Somebody came on recently and talked about the Mac knife being their favorite knife. It's like $150, but it's like
Okay.
I forget who it was who talked about it. So I was very tempted to get it, but I like having a pretty knife. I don't know why. Maybe I'm
I
shallow.
do too. No, well, I am too because I like those white ones. But I have to remember not to use them when I'm like chopping beets and stuff
Yeah,
like that because I
that's
don't
a
want
good
to cut.
point.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, what is your go-to salt?
Okay, salt, I have a variety, of course, but I gotta say I like this stuff.
Interesting. Okay, so normally the first one that people show is diamond crystal. So you're a baby.
Oh, yeah, I'm a sea salt person.
Okay.
Yeah, and then this from the Camargue, this,
Yeah,
corn
I
yeah.
think David Leibovitz once gave me that as a gift when he came to visit. Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. And then I also have Sicilian salt. I'm out of, like, but I just you get from Gustiamo bags of Sicilian coarse salt that I
I
really
love
like.
Gustiamo. I was gonna bring up Gustiamo for people who wanna order really good
Yeah.
Italian stuff. As we're talking, I was, like, secretly, like, going in my head, I'm gonna go on Gustiamo after this and get a bunch of
Yeah,
stuff.
exactly. Well, she's got flaky, Sicilian sea salt, and so Fiore di Sale Marino, and I get this quite often from her. I just got a shipment of her Sicilian almonds today too, which I
Oh,
was
yeah.
out of, which are fabulous. Yeah.
How does baleen, sea salt compare to diamond crystal in terms of, if you're using a tablespoon of one and a tablespoon of the other, is it pretty similar in terms of size of
I
crystals?
that is a good question, and I don't know because I've never used diamond crystal.
Okay, no,
I used to use, what's the one with the girl in the rain, the
Morton,
umbrella? Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
like, that's what
yeah.
I grew up with,
No, I love
but
that. I think the sea salt, some people would argue, is more pure in a way, right? Because it's coming from the sea.
yeah, I think people like diamond crystal because it melts, it
Mhm.
dissolves well, right?
Yeah.
And where I think sea salt sometimes may be a little bit grainy. On occasion, I've used that real salt. Have you ever seen that?
Mm.
It's, I don't think I have any in my cabinet. It's from Utah. Oh, I do have some. Hang on one second. I just got to show this to you now.
Yeah, real
Um,
Real.
yeah, it comes from Utah. And it says, long before the earth knew pollution, volcanic eruptions sealed an ancient pristine ocean beneath a layer of protective ash in what is now North America. Real salt is the only brand of sea salt harvested from this ancient deposit near Redmond, Utah. We
Wow.
bring it to you exactly as nature created it, an unrefined ancient sea salt with a subtle sweet flavor unlike any other salt on earth. I really like it, but my daughter complained that she thought there was, like, dirt in it, so I stopped using it. But
That's
I
hilarious.
now that I've found this, I'm gonna leave it out and start using it again because I like
Yeah,
it.
that's kind of a cool story. All right, last question. I always ask this at the end because I'm always curious. What is your go-to dish soap? Since we all have to do the dishes when we're done cooking. Uh,
Oh, Dawn dish soap, and I'll tell
Dawn,
you why.
why?
Because years ago, I did a piece for the Washington Post on how the Inn at Little Washington keeps their kitchen clean. Because they had I don't know if are you familiar with the Inn at Little
I know
Washington, Patrick O'Connell's?
yeah, I've
Yeah.
seen his cookbooks and I've seen him on Top Chef,
Yeah.
but I've never been
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's, as you might imagine, a fabulous experience. But so they wanted me to ask, how they kept this kitchen so pristine and clean, this gorgeous kitchen, and they have banquettes where people can have, sit. That's their chef's table, and so I went and interviewed Patrick O'Connell, but I ended up spending the evening watching the guy who cleans the kitchen, and his name was Jack. Oh, his last name, is escaping me now. He passed away some years ago. He was like a mountain man who was hired by the inn, and every night he would just fully clean this kitchen, and he would have rotating, like, specials. Like, one night he would polish all the copper, one night he would do this deep cleaning of the range, and, you know, but then there was stuff he would do every night. So he was like an overnight shift kitchen cleaner, basically. And so he used Dawn, and I thought, well, if Jack is using Dawn, I'm using Dawn, so that's what I
Good
use.
answer. Well, Domenica, this was fabulous. We ate up the whole hour, but I am so inspired by our conversation, and I am so excited to cook from your wonderful cookbook, Italian Cookies. So, thank you so much for doing a kitchen treasure hunt with us.
Thank you so much. This has been a lot of fun. I appreciate it.
Yes, and this will be live on my Substack in about 2 hours. It takes that long to process, so
Great.
I'll share it then. All right. Well, have a great rest of
Okay.
your day. Thank you.
Ciao. Thank you.
Ciao. Bye bye.